Vavai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishavai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We will be studying Kaivalyopanishad now. This Upanishad, Kaivalyopanishad, belongs to Atharva Veda, Rit, Yajus, Sama, and then Atharva Veda. This belongs to Atharva Veda. Right now we are looking into another Upanishad, that is Mundaka Upanishad, which also belongs to Atharva Veda. Then there is Mandukya Upanishad, that also belongs to Atharva Veda. And there is Prashna Upanishad, also from Atharva Veda. So among the 10 major Upanishads, they are called major because that is studied. Those Upanishads are studied primarily. They cover the whole teaching of Vedanta in great detail, and also whatever necessary sadhanas, the means, preparatory means required for study and understanding the Vedanta, study of and understanding Vedanta, they are also enjoined there. Sadhanas, even such as upasanas, are also mentioned in those Upanishads. So they are complete. It's not that the other Upanishads are incomplete, but these 10 are seen as adequate to understand. A study of these are seen as adequate to understand the Vedanta and also prepare oneself to understand Vedanta. A further reason why they are called major Upanishads is that Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya has written a bhashyam on these 10. In addition to Bhagavad Gita Bhashya and Brahma Sutra Bhashya, Acharya has written Bhashya for these 10 Upanishads. Therefore, the study of it is rendered very thorough. Other Upanishads, that is among the 108 if we count, the other 98 or so, Bhashyakara does not seem to have written a commentary. It's not available. There is a commentary for Shvetashvatara Upanishad, which is not among these 10, and that commentary goes in the name of Shankaracharya. As to the authorship of Shankaracharya, it ascribes, that is Adi Shankara. When we look at the style of commentary of Shvetashvatara Upanishad, even though it is lucid, it's very distinct. It stands out from the other commentaries of Adi Shankara. So a good number of acharyas and scholars believe that Shvetashvatara Upanishad Bhashyam, the Bhashyam, is not Adi Shankara's work. It's some other acharya. It's a good one, but it's somebody else, they say. Okay. So, in addition to these 10 major Upanishads, the seekers, the jignasus, the people who are keen to acquire the wisdom, own the wisdom, also study a lot of other Upanishads and other texts like we study Prakaranas, we study. They have their own role to play. For example, Viveka Chudamani, Panchadashi, they play a major role in one's understanding, the clarity one gets with reference to the vision of Vedanta. There are a couple of other Upanishads also, which are also studied. One such is Kaivalyopanishad. There is another Nrsimha Tapani Upanishad also is there. Of course, Shvetasutara also is there. A few other Upanishads are there. Kaivalyopanishad is a very short Upanishad consisting of only 24 mantras, 27 mantras, 28 remember. It's counted variously in different books. The counting of the mantra number varies from book to book. In our text that we have, Sanskrit text we have, it counts 28 mantras. A very brief Upanishad. Yet it outlines the vision of Vedanta clearly, and also the necessary means for the owning the vision. They are also given in a very simple style and a very clear style, clear expression, clear, simple style it is there. There are commentators, acharyas, who commented on Kaivalyopanishad. Even though Adi Shankara has not written a bhashyam on this, at least we don't have, the tradition doesn't know of a bhashyam written by Shankaracharya, but other great acharyas have commented on this. We have with us one such commentary, the Sanskrit text that we have one such commentary written by one acharya called Shankarananda Swami. A very simple commentary we have. We will try to look into this Sanskrit commentary also. It gives us an introduction, sort of introduction to looking into a Sanskrit commentary, which will help us later, in understanding, in reading, in studying Bhashya. And also, some of us who are willing to, ready to look into Sanskrit commentaries, even though not everyone, but some are willing to start looking into the Sanskrit commentary, at least to facilitate that learning also we have this. It's not that every one of us has to follow the Sanskrit commentary right now. Whoever is able to follow. And then who is not able to follow, just leave it. Then catch the meaning, whatever, the meaning of the commentary and the meaning of the mantras we will take to. And we have the another set of papers wherein the mantra in Devanagari script is given and the transliteration, the Roman transliteration is given, and then we have the brief meaning of the mantras that also is there for the sake of all of us. Now, Kaivalya Upanishad, it is one of the texts which usually the sannyasis recite every day. Usually. Even the Kaivalya Upanishad itself says, may one recite this every day, it says. There are some texts which the sannyasis are usually expected to recite every day. One is Rudram, what we chant in the temple every day morning. Rudram is expected to chant. In addition to the sannyasis' own routine, there is a routine, a simple routine is there. In addition to that, one is expected to recite Rudram every day. And Kaivalya Upanishad also says, recite Kaivalya Upanishad every day. So Kaivalya Upanishad is one such text usually they recite. It's not a rule applying for all, followed by all, but generally it is followed. Okay. Now, the word Upanishad indicates that it's Vedanta. In a prakarana called Vedanta Sara by Acharya Sadananda, the Acharya Sadananda defines Vedantaha, Vedanto Nama Upanishad Pramanam, the very opening sentence. He says in the Vedanta Sara, Sadananda says, Vedanto Nama Upanishad. Vedanta is Upanishad. That is, Upanishad is the Vedanta. And he says Pramanam. It is a Pramanam, a unique means for knowledge. We know of 6 Pramanas according to Advaita Vedanta: Pratyaksha, Anumana, Arthapatti, then Upamana, Anupalabdhi, and then Shabda. We have Pratyaksha, perception. What one perceives through the sense organs, that is Pratyaksha. The means for perception, that is called Pratyaksha Pramana. Here, when I see a color or a form with my eyes, the eyes is the Pramanam, the means to see a color, to perceive a color, a form. So the eyes are called Pramana, Pratyaksha Pramanam. Here we have to understand, by eyes we don't mean the physical part of the body, but the power obtaining, expressing in the eyes to see. We don't refer to this flesh made up of cells. This is not called the Pramanam, but this is the seat of the Pramana, where the Pramana obtains, where it functions. Right? So it is the power to see is called Chakshuhu, the Pramana. It's called Pratyaksha Pramana. So the ear is able to hear sounds. So the ear is the Shrotram, is the Pramanam for sounds. Okay, hearing sounds. So the 5 sense organs reveal 5 sense objects. All the 5 together are called Pratyaksha Pramanam. Pramanam, the means for knowledge, means with which we know. We have to note one thing here. Every Pramana is unique. That is to say, no other Pramana can reveal what this one Pramana can show, can reveal. For instance, eyes are the only means for knowing the color and then the shape, the form, at least color and light. Shape I can feel with my fingers, with my hand, and then I can feel something is round, something is square, something cube, I can rough, etc. I can do. But then the form I can see. The form I can see with the eyes only. Forms I can feel with my hand. Yes, that is not seeing the form. It is feeling the form. Right? That's all. Here I see. Seeing the form is only. To see, eyes are the only Pramana. So to hear sounds, ear is the only Pramana. There are some people who think that there may be an overlap. Right? An overlap of the spheres of the Pramana. Suppose eyes can operate within this, ears can operate within this. Some people say that there is a possible overlap. Some people say. We don't accept that. On strict analysis, we can see that every Pramana is unique. Some say, they can smell colors, they can feel colors and all that. It's not provable. It's not provable. So, therefore, we hold that uniqueness of Pramana. So we can say a unique means of knowledge. Pramana is unique means of knowledge. A knowledge which is valid, which is correct, which is valid. In its own sphere, it has its validity. So, pratyaksha is on pramana. And in addition to pratyaksha, we have a few more pramanas. That is the anumana. Our mind, the human mind, and even some animals also have a capacity to infer what is not seen, what is not perceived with the pratyaksha pramanam. The mind can infer. You know the familiar example, Parvataha Vanniman. I think you have heard this maybe quite a many number of times. Parvataha Vanniman. The hill has fire. There is fire on the hill. During daytime, the fellow, because of the sunlight, the person cannot see the fire, but then the person sees smoke. From seeing the smoke, the person infers the presence of fire, right? The fire is not seen with the eyes during daytime, bright daytime, but it's inferred, correctly inferred. For inferring, the person uses the smoke, the presence of smoke. But the smoke is seen with the eyes. Okay. For inference, there must be something pratyaksha. Based on this pratyaksha, that is smoke here, based on this and based on this knowledge of an invariable connection, invariable concomitance, they say vyapti. In Sanskrit, they use the word vyapti, invariable concomitance, invariable presence, invariable connection. That is, wherever there is smoke, there must be fire. Yatra yatra dhumaha, yatra yatra, wherever, dhumaha, smoke is there, tatra tatra, therever, wherever and therever. There has to be fire, because without fire, smoke cannot show up. A cloud is different, but we are talking about smoke. We are not talking about cloud. If I see cloud and then take it for smoke and then infer that there is fire on the hill, that is a wrong inference, because what I saw is not smoke, but it is cloud. Therefore, I took the cloud for smoke and then I inferred fire, does not mean that the means is wrong here. The pramana is not working here, but then I made a wrong inference, that's all. I incorrectly took a cloud for smoke and then inferred fire. Therefore, wherever there is smoke, there has to be fire. Without fire, smoke cannot manifest, appear. At least the smoke is produced by fire. This invariable connection called vyapti is known. So, I see the smoke on the hill and I know this vyapti, I have this vyapti jnanam, the invariable connection between smoke and fire. I know that is, smoke comes from out of fire. This connection I know. From this I infer, one infers the presence of fire on the hill. This is called anumana, the inference. And we infer, we apply inference a lot during our life. Daytime, day to day, we keep on applying inference a lot. Okay. Only we have to look at what is the pramana I am using now. Then we can say, I am using pratyaksha, I am using anumana, I am using arthapatti, etc. We can discover. We keep on applying, keep on using this. These are not unknown. These are all everyday application. They are all everyday application. Anumana, inference. Thirdly, we have this arthapatti. They say postulation. Right? When there are two elements perceived, two factors, two things are seen, but then they do not jive, they do not cohere. Then two things are happening, but these two things cannot happen without something else. Without something else, the third element being there. And the third element is the postulation called arthapatti. Otherwise, these two things which are perceived cannot happen. Either one may happen or the other, but not both cannot happen at the same time. There is a seeming opposition, a contradiction between the two, and then something which resolves this contradiction is the postulation called arthapatti. Again, here in this familiar example, this fellow goes on putting weight. Started off with 48 kilos, and within a month's time, this fellow went up to 75, and the next month 93. Devadatta. Okay. So, and then this fellow, I see the person. Person does not eat during daytime. I see two things. That is, this person Devadatta putting on weight, I see. This is something, a fact which cannot be denied. This person is putting on weight, I see it clear. And second thing, I don't see this person eating during daytime at all. Now, not eating and putting on weight, how do they go together? Not eating and losing weight may go together. And eating, putting on weight, go together. But not eating and putting on weight, both are facts. Visually, perceptively, they are true, they are valid. But how can these two go together? How is it possible? The only way is that Divana bhunkte, Ratrau bhunkte, must be eating at the night. That's all. Fellow prefers to eat at night, that's all. Simply likes to eat during night time and then eats during night time. Night time I do not see him. I keep a watch. I don't keep a watch on Devadatta. And then the person likes to eat during night time and then puts on weight. This eats during night time is the arthapatti, is the postulation. Right? This resolves the seemingly contradictory the perceptions. Putting on weight and not eating during daytime. So to make this possible, to understand these two meaningfully, which are otherwise not possible, right? So I postulate during night, the person eats during night. So in Sanskrit they say Pinaha. Pinaha means one who is putting on weight. Pinaha Devadattaha. This person called Devadatta who is putting on weight. Diva. Diva means during daytime. Na bhunkte, doesn't eat during daytime. Pinaha Devadattaha. That is one fact. One thing I see. Putting on weight. Diva na bhunkte, does not eat during daytime. That also is seen. Right? Then how would I connect these two? How is it possible? Arthapatti is Ratrau bhunkte, eats during night time. Right? This resolves the contradiction. We use this Arthapatti Pramana also day to day we use. Now, suppose we go to meet someone, say Mr. X, somebody is there, we go to see somebody. And we go to the person's house and the house is locked, okay? Locked from outside. Now we know that if the house is locked from inside, Mr. X normally would not be there inside unless the person is locked up, right, from outside. Somebody locked up from outside. We know that the person is not inside the house. No. Does it mean that this Mr. X is non-existent? No, we know that Mr. X is alive, is not dead, is alive. Mr. X is alive. If Mr. X is not alive, I would have gotten the information immediately. Mr. X is no more. I would have gotten. I have not gotten the information, right? Age of information, no? Immediately I get information. I have not received any such information. Then what do I say? Oh, Mr. X must have gone out. Did I see Mr. X going out? No. How do I know that Mr. X has gone out? Because Mr. X is not there. House is locked, but is still available. That means the X is gone out. This is Arthapatti. Similar instances we, by the dozen we use every day. Arthapatti also we keep on using. Then the next one, the fourth one is the Upamana. We know a thing and then from that thing we know infer that other thing is something like this. Right? They give the example of there is a forest deer is there. a forest bison is there, and we have not seen the forest bison now, but we see a buffalo, a cow in the village, in the town, in the township, we see a buffalo, a cow we see. And then, suppose then I say to my friend, I am going to the forest, I am going for a safari, etc. I tell my friend. And then I ask, I heard that this forest bison is there in that forest. How does the forest bison look like? Then my friend is an informed person. He says, my friend says, the bison looks like a cow, looks like a buffalo. Right? So this buffalo I have seen, I know. Bison I have not seen. Now I go to the forest for a safari. And then there I see an animal. I have not seen that animal before, either with my own eyes or through internet or photograph, magazine. None of this, I have not seen this animal at all. Now I say that, oh, this is forest bison. How do I know that this is forest bison when I have not seen it earlier? I've seen the animal all right, but how do I know that this is the forest bison? How do I know? Because my friend has told the forest bison looks like buffalo. Okay. So I recall that my friend's analogy, similarity, look like a buffalo. That I recall, and then I understand that this is a bison. This way of knowing, I know that this is a bison. I connect the appearance of the animal with that identification. This is bison, right? Because by the pramana called upamana, by similarity. Okay? We know things. Upamana is the fourth one. Then fifth one we say anupalabdhi, the absence of something. Somebody is not there, something is not there. On my table there is no, let me say, there is no cell phone. There is no cell phone on my table. This absence of a thing is unique according to us. This is one unique pramana it is. I know that it is not there. I don't see a cell phone here. I see only the table. I see only a book, etc. I see. But I say that there is no cell phone on this. How do I know that there is a cell phone? The absence of a cell phone on my table, how do I know? That's a unique pramana, we say. We can't say, I see the table, therefore there is no cell phone. No, even with the cell phone, the table is there. Therefore, I see the table only, not the cell phone I don't see. So that's a unique pramana, anupalabdhi pramana. These five are vyavaharika pramana. Vyavaharika pramana, which we know things, with which we know things in the transactional world, right? Anupalabdhi, the means to know the absence of a thing, that something is not there, right? We know this by anupalabdhi. These are transactional vyavaharika pramana. Now, with the help of this we conduct our life, our affairs we conduct. But then we have this spiritual quest also. Adhyatma, vichara, adhyatma quest is there with reference to Atma, with reference to Ishvara, with reference to Dharma, right? With reference to Punarjanma, etc. Dharma brings in Punarjanma also. Therefore, with reference to Dharma, with reference to Atma, Vishaya, Ishvara Tattvam, and all this, what is life is about, what is the meaning of life, why is this world, how do I connect to this world? There are questions which cannot be answered by these five pramanas. These questions, the answers to these questions are out of the scope of these five pramanas. All scientific methods fall within this laukika pramana only. Pratyaksha, Anumana, Arthapatti, etc. Right? All scientific data, scientific analysis, scientific methods all fall under this laukika pramana. After all, science is laukika. Therefore, they all fall under any one or more of these laukika pramana. And there is an unique pramana for finding answers to certain questions. That is the Shabda Pramana, which is Veda. Shabda Pramana is Veda. Veda is the Pramana, unique Pramana, which talks about the existence of Dharma, Punya, Papa. Punya, Papa, etc. are not visible, right, to anyone. They are not readily, since something is not seen, inferable also, inferability is also not there. It's not available for any other Pramana. Similarly, Punarjanma, rebirth, is not available for Laukika Pramana. You can't confirm using Pratyaksha, etc., that there is rebirth. You cannot prove. Nor you can prove that there is no rebirth also. We have no means to prove that there is no rebirth. You have to understand this. In some religions hold that no, there is no rebirth. Some religions hold there is no pramana to say so. There is no pramana at all. It's only a statement. There is no proof for it. It's only a statement. There is no proof. But Veda says there is a rebirth, punarjanma. It has certain indications. We can't call proof, but then there are indications. The variety in the life form, the variety in one's experiences, the variety among people, their makeup, their outlook, what they seek, right? So that's all. The variety, the difference among living beings cannot be accounted, but for this punya, papa, that means brings in the punarjanma also. So Vedas talk about dharma, punya, papa, etc. Not only that, Vedanta, the portion of Vedas talk about this, the Swarupa, the truth of oneself, being Brahman. Right? This is also revealed only by the Veda, the Upanishads. So, this Upanishad is a pramanam for knowing the Swarupa of Brahma, Ishvara, Atman. To know the Swarupa, Upanishad is the pramanam. This is what Sadananda says in his book Vedanta Sara, Vedanto Nama Upanishad Pramanam. This is a very important idea to understand, important fact to understand, that Vedanta is a Pramanam. Unfortunately, many people do not look upon Upanishad as a Pramanam, Veda as a Pramanam. And even people who hear this Vedanta is a Pramanam do not really understand the meaning of it. It's very important to understand the meaning of the word Pramanam, the unique means for knowing. There is no other means. Only through this we see, we understand something, we know something. Like even the eyes are the only means to see color, to see form. Vedanta is the only means to understand one's own real nature, the true Swarupa of oneself. So, Vedanto Nama Upanishad Pramanam. Now, what does this Upanishad talk about? The very Upanishad, the word means a lot. It's a very significant word. We know Upa, Ni and Sat. These three components make up the word Upanishad. Upa means proximity, nearness, closeness, nearness. Upa, Samipe. This indicates two things. One thing is the seeker of this knowledge spends some time in the proximity of the teacher. Gurukula Vasa, staying in the proximity, in the nearness of the Guru, the teacher. That is one meaning of the word Upa. Samipe, Samipe, Upa, Vasan. Right? Living for us time, spending some time, some quality time in the proximity, right, of the teacher. That is, the student, the learner is available to learn. If the student lives elsewhere, separate, away from the teacher, then it's a remote teaching, not a one-to-one. There's not a pratyak, there's no samipa, there is no personal touch there. We will see the as we have seen earlier also, we will see later also in the process, we will see why do we need a teacher, why do we need a guru. For this we will see. So one meaning of the word upa is living in the proximity, nearness, close to a teacher for some length of time, for the guru for some time. That means Gurukula Vasa. Then the second meaning, upa means near, that which is near. What is the near thing? What is near to me? A table is separated from me by a distance. Of course, it is near to me compared to your table. My table is close to me than your table. But then it's only relative. The nearness of my table is only relative. Yet it is away from, there is some distance between the table and myself. And then, so this I am nearer than this table. Therefore, the table cannot qualify to be the closely close, very close entity. Even though it is close enough to me, but it is not the closest to me. Right? It is close enough, but it is not closest. Samipa, all right, but it is not Samipa Tama. It is Samipa Tara. Closer than your table, but it is not close enough. It is not the closest. It is not Samipa Tama. Samipa means close. Tama means closest. Samipa Tama is closest. It is not the closest to me. What is the closest entity to me? I am the closest entity. My body, my mind, etc. There is some physical, not physical distance, an ideal distance is there. In sense of owning, this is me in that sense, claiming as me, there is an ideal distance. A distance in terms of idea, it is there. So I am the closest. This is my body, but I am the closest entity. I. Now, this is the closest entity. Upa means the closest. And Upanishad talks about the closest entity, that is Atma, that is me. That is second meaning of Upa. Okay? So, two meanings for the word Upa we saw. Upa, nearness. Upa, near. Nearness of a guru, and then knowing about what is nearest, that is Upa. And then the word Ni means Nitaram, very well, very clearly. Very well. So I understand Atma Swarupa very clearly by the process of my study, my understanding. I own the wisdom. It is my own self. It becomes part and parcel of me. It is me. Right? So I own the wisdom, me, Nitaram, very clearly, completely. And then the root, Sad, has three meanings. That which loosens, loosening in the sense of loosening. Loosening of the hold of raga, dvesha, etc. on me. Right? A choking hold on me, that which by which I am forced, right, to act upon the impulses which are incorrect many a times. I act upon the impulses. Impulsively I decide something. Impulsively I do something because I am under the pressure of raga, dvesha. At that moment, as it were, I am helpless. As it were, right? I am just a slave to the pressure of raga, dvesha within. This holds a very extremely tight pressure on me, and I don't have freedom. The inner freedom I don't have. I am just a slave of my own will, wish, fancy, impulses. I am just a slave, like a robot. I act out. No, I give a command to the robot, go and give a slap to this fellow. And then just a robot just obeys, go and gives a slap to the fellow. So I become like a robot. My impulse, very strong impulse, go and give a slap to this fellow. I go and give a slap. I become more like a robotic, like just obey the command, right, of the impulse. Now, when I am this way, I am not free. I am under the tight hold of raga, dvesha. Now the Upanishad, what does it do? loosens the grip of ragadvesha over me. My impulse, the grip of my impulses, my whims, my fancies, right? My impulses, my own likes and dislikes. That grip is loosened. As I understand what is me and what is mine and what is not mine, what is Atma, what is Anatma, as I understand, that grip loosens. Right? Like the tight knot round the neck is loosened. Thereby the fellow can breathe now, find some freedom, can breathe easily. Right? So give some room, the person finds some room within, some space within, thereby the person can look at things more objectively and thereby respond more, behaving more properly, more appropriately can respond and can take to means, can take to activities which are more befitting, which are proper. So the sad means loosening the hold of ragadvesha on oneself. And secondly, the sad means to destroy completely, to remove completely. Now, the Upanishad, as I understand the Upanishad better and better and better, as I understand completely, finally, then it completely destroys certain things. What is that? Ajnana is gone. Avidya, ajnana is gone. And all the offsprings of ajnana, whatever that is born of ajnana, they are also gone. Samsara is gone. Samsaritva is gone. Then sukhitva, dukkhitva, these are all gone. I am just the Kevala Atma, the pure entity. I am free from, I am unaffected by the sukha, dukkha, etc. That is to say, my fullness, my purity is not increased or decreased by the presence or absence of sukha, dukkha. Sukha is present. Sukha happens, then my fullness is increased, infinite plus one. Then some dukkha is there. My infiniteness, the fullness is decreased, infinite minus one. No such thing happen. I am with sukha I am full. Without sukha also I am full. With the dukkha I am full. And without dukkha also I am full. Nothing adds or decreases. Nothing takes away the fullness, the sense of fullness from the person who holds the wisdom. That is the sukhitva, dukkhitva, samsara is gone. Right? The dukkha, I am the sufferer. I am subject to dukkha. I am subject to hurt. I can be hurt very easily. That is gone totally. That is the second meaning of the word sat. Okay? Destroys avidya and avidya karya. Avidya and its effects are destroyed totally. And third meaning is gati artha, I gain. I get something. What do I get here? Nitya Sukha, the everlasting, the unconditional happiness, satisfaction, tripti I get. This is the Sukha, which is also called Ananda. Ananda Avapti. I own my Ananda. I see myself as Ananda Swarupa. And that is the Brahma Prapti. Moksha Prapti, gaining of moksha. By knowing that I am, by understanding that I am Paramatma, Paramatma is me, I am Brahman, Brahman is me. Here me means everything, okay? Not only me. I am Brahman, you are not Brahman. Suppose. That is not wisdom, that is not understanding. That incomplete understanding. Okay? So, I am Brahman means everything is Brahman. I, wherever there is I, that is Brahman. Here there is I, there also I, that I also is Brahman. Sarvam Brahman. Okay. So it is not that I am alone as Brahman, you are not Brahman, you are not Mukta, you are bound, you are not Brahman yet. It is not true. Therefore, the Sad means, third meaning is that Prapayati, it makes one own, understands one's own innate Swarupa, being Atman, being Brahman, being Nitya, Mukta. So, Upanishad means by the, it's a huge word, a small word meaning a very big thing. Okay, so Upanishad means that which loosens the knot, loosens the grip of raga dvesha over the seeker, and destroys ignorance and its effects totally, and makes the person gain the fullness, the parama purushartha, right? The completeness, fullness, ananda, by knowing completely, by knowing Atma Swarupa completely, by going to and staying with, studying under a guru, right? Upa, Ni, Sat. The order of meaning Sat, Ni and Upa. We take the other way. So Upanishad. Okay, a very beautiful word, a very profound word, a very meaningful word. Now, we have Kaivalya Upanishad here. Kaivalya, the word comes from the word Kevala. Kevala means only, right? Only, that alone, that is the meaning of Kevala. In Tamil, we use the word Kevala means very insignificant, worthless. That's a meaning given, associate. That is not the meaning here. Kevala means that and that alone, that only, that is the meaning. The only thing, that is Kevala. What is this Kevala here? The Upanishad itself points out, Brahmaiva Satyam, Atmayeva Satyam. The true entity, the ultimate reality, the absolute truth is only Atman, Brahman, which is also called Ishvara. That alone is the truth. That is the Kevala. And this being the Kevala, remaining as the Kevala, owning being the Kevala, is Parama Purushartha, is the highest goal that is sought, namely moksha. So the Kevalasya Bhava, being that Kevala, is Kaivalya, right? Kaivalya is the being that Kevala, being that one entity, being oneness, being non-dual, right? I am non-dual Brahman, all right, but then I need to know, the mind needs to know, or the Jiva, I need to know, so that the Jiva lives in fullness, in Ananda. Kaivalya is being in the state. You cannot call it state really. Therefore, being that one, being that non-dual Atma Brahma. In other words, Ananda Avapti. In other words, moksha, liberation, freedom. That is the meaning of word Kaivalya. So this word Kaivalya Upanishad talks about, the Upanishad talks about Kaivalya, liberation, moksha, being that non-dual Brahmatman. So this is a Kaivalya Upanishad. Very beautiful title. Some Upanishads are named by the first word. For example, Ishavasya, right? And then Kena Upanishad. The Kena Upanishad begins with Kena, the word Kena. Therefore, it's called Kena Upanishad. And then Ishavasya Upanishad begins with Ishavasyam. Therefore, it's called Ishavasya Upanishad. But here, this Upanishad does not begin with the word Kaivalya, but it talks about Kaivalya. Kaivalya Upanishad, belonging to Atharva Veda. Okay. Now, in our tradition, we chant this Shanti Mantra. No? Each Shanti Mantra for each Veda, Upanishad belonging to a particular Veda. We know the Shanti Mantra for this Bhadram Karnevihi Shrunuyama. You all know the chanting. We have the chanting within our sheet here. With the Swara march, we will chant. Since you all know, we will chant together. Om Bhadram Karnevihi Shrunuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashyed Makshadiryajatraha Sthirairangaihi Stushtuvam Sastanubihi Yashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vriddashravaha Swasti na Pusha Vishvavedaha Swasti nastaksho arishtagemihi Swasti no brihaspati dadatu Om Shanti 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 mantra we chant both in the beginning and also at the end. Both times. Purva Shanti and Uttara Shanti, both places we read. So we will be chanting Sahanavavatu in the beginning, Purnamadaha at the end. After that we will chant this Bhadram Karneni also in the beginning and in the end. Before Purnamada we will chant Bhadram Karneni. This you have seen in the Mundaka itself. Here there is a prayer. This mantra, Shanti mantra, is a prayer. A very meaningful prayer here. We look into the meaning briefly. He Devaha, O gods. Devaha, the brilliant ones. Div comes, Deva word comes from Div, to shine, to brilliant. The brilliant ones, the effulgent ones, because of their Shakti, their powers, because of their knowledge, and because of their qualities, they are shining, they are bright. Need not be a physical light here, but then they shine in terms of their brilliance, they are brilliant in terms of their wisdom, their Shakti, and then their qualities. Right? One such quality is to reach out, to be sama to all, right? To reach out to all. It's a divine quality. Devas reach out to all beings. Like even Agni, the fire Devata, Agni Devata, pervades all our bodies. Without that warmth, no life is possible. So Agni Devata is present, blesses us. I may not even appreciate the warmth in the body, but then Agni Devata, I may not even say a word of thanks to Agni Devata, right? Rather I am an atheist. I don't believe in God. Okay? Even if I were an atheist, still to say that I am an atheist, I have to exist, right? To believe that I am an atheist, I have to exist. That existence, very existence given because of this warmth, the heat, right? And then there are different types of heat. Bodily heat is there, and then the Agni Devata is also seen as the Devata for speech, right? So speech which throws light, which illumines, right? Which illumines, which brings about understanding. That illumines some knowledge, reveals something. Agni is the Devata for the Vak also. And then there is Agni in the stomach, digestive fire. Jatara Agni is there, etc. Then there are some people, authors, some acharyas point out few other Agnis also. Now, Agni is present in all living beings. That is, it blesses. Agni blesses all beings. The blessing of Agni is there. In that sense, is equal to all. Of course, there are some living beings which are warmer, and there are less warmer, etc. But still, Agni is there, uniformly is there. Then sunlight, Surya Devata is uniformly illumines everything. Whatever comes in the light, whatever comes in the face of sun, it illumines uniformly. Vayu Devata, right, blesses everyone, all living beings. Apaha, water, the gods of the water, they bless everyone. Prithvi, these are all the Devatas, they bless every being, right? Whether they are prayed to, not prayed to, thought of, not thought of, right? Thanked or thankless, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That's a divine quality. It's their very nature. Like the very nature of sun is to shine, that's all. It's very nature to be kind, to be uniform, to bless everything. Devaha. Oh, graceful ones. Oh, the divine ones, entities, gods, who are equal to all, who bless all. Devaha. Then another address here, Yajatraha. Devaha. Oh, Yajatraha. Yajatra means those who tra, to protect, to nourish, to protect. To whoever to seeks them. Yaja, to seek, to praise, to worship, to pray to, right? Praise, worship, pray, Yaja. Yajatraha. Those who definitely bless, those who seek them, those who pray to them, yajatraha. Okay. It's not that they don't bless the others, but those who pray to gods, the devatas, get an extra, something more. Okay. Yajatraha, O devaha, O yajatraha. Then there is a fervent prayer, Bhadram Pashyema, Bhadram Shuniyama, etc. is there. We will see this in the next class. It will be at 11:30. Om Bhadram Karnevih Shruniyama Deva Bhadram Pashyemakshadiryajatraha Sthirairangai Sprushtvagum Sastanuvih Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swastina Indro Vridhashravaha Swastina Pusha Vishvavedaha Swastina Starkshyo Arishtayemi Swastino Brihaspatirdadhatu Om Shanti 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 Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Shishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om.